Hey everyone, Thad Smith, Executive Chef at Sterno Products, America's leading provider of portable warming and ambiance solutions for the food service industry. Welcome to the 5th episode in our podcast series, Getting Your Express Catering Operation Up and Running. In past episodes, we've talked about taking the dive, that's making the decision to get into express catering. We've talked about doing homework, making sure you have all your ducks in a row. We covered menu development and pricing. We talked about products and equipment that you'll need. And today we're going to talk about training your staff and getting your stores ready to get into express catering. As you know, express catering, this is also known as drop-off catering, by the way, is one of the fastest growing and profitable segments in food service. Let me clear my throat. Excuse me. Just a quick refresher, express catering is a service extension of an established restaurant or caterer that is designed to work in concert with day-to-day operations and provide an additional revenue stream. Express catering provides customers with the opportunity to host an event, business lunch, family gathering, holiday party, and enjoy the same great food and experience of their favorite restaurant at their home, place of business, or in any setting of their choice. I am once again joined by George Toranzo, Director of Operations for Salvation Pizza, a terrific group of restaurants down in Austin, Texas. We've been working with George, helping him and his staff get an express catering program off the ground. During this process, we have put together a case study that is part of a larger express catering educational program, which can be found at sternopro.com/training center. At the Sterno Training Center, you will find a comprehensive toolbox to help you with your express catering program, including the Sterno Express Catering 5-step startup guide, training videos, cost calculators to get your cost in line, safety info and posters, as well as this, if I may say so, terrific podcast. Training your staff, well, it's a very important aspect in getting a program like this up and going. You need to test and validate every facet of your express catering program before launching. We recommend starting this process 6 weeks prior to launch. Make sure your staff is comfortable, knowledgeable, and excited about the program. Express catering should become a familiar and natural phrase within your staff's lexicon. George, you've got a great program going on down there at Salvation Pizza. Let's talk a little bit about your staff and training. Overall, do you have a pretty solid group of employees that you're working with, or you do have a lot of turnover?
We have a very good base of employees. We have several people that have been with us for over 2 to 3 years, and a couple that have been with us over 5 years. We are in a college town, so we do see some turnover year to year.
And is that mostly front of the house turnover, or is it back of the house turnover, or is it both?
It's most of the front of the house, but we do tend to find some on the back of the house at that as well. We tend to keep them through their, studies, college career, 2 to 3 years, and once they graduate, we do find a turnover there.
Of course. Talk to me about retaining your best employees. How are you doing that? How are you keeping them in your shops? How are you keeping them, motivated and loving to come into work every day?
Well, it helps to have a multi-unit operation. We do have several employees over 5 years, specifically Marina, who's been with us since day one, so 10 years with the business. He is now our prep kitchen manager, if you will. So he goes around through the 3 stores to make sure that the prep is being kept up to par and things are, FIFO'd in and out correctly at each store, so he can pop in at any time during the week to kind of inspect the kitchen and walk-ins. And obviously, monetarily, you have to keep them excited.
Of course. Hey, you brought up, what was the fellow's name that's your prep kitchen supervisor, Marina?
Marino, yes.
He's been Marino.
With us actually since day one.
Marino. So Marino, is he your chef that is the culinary visionary for the operation, or do you have an executive chef that's kind of handling menu development and things like that?
No, actually, that falls under my owner, Michael.
Okay.
He actually does all the kitchen development. I do get a say so in that, But if anything, he's the chef in his kitchen. It's his baby, and we do have kitchen managers at each location that goes through the ordering procedures and making sure we're staffed and that kind of things. But as far as any new item, Michael handles it about 75 to 80% of it, and I get my 5 cents in.
Yeah, I know about that. So, as far as introducing a new menu item onto the menu or into the program, how do you do that? I mean, when I was working, in New York and Chicago, when we had a new menu item at the restaurant, we would often run it as a special to see how folks took to it and see if it had legs. How are you guys doing introducing new menu items to your restaurants?
We do have a pretty good system between Michael and I, since he's very much back of the house, I'm front of the house. Um, we do come up with something, and first of all, we talk it over. Number two, like you said, we don't necessarily run a special on it, but what we like to do is on a busy night, we like to introduce the dish out to people who are ordering. We say, hey, this is the new pasta. Would you like to try it? And we do like half servings of it and just literally roll it out and get some feedback that way. We find that people are very honest about it. And then after that, we will test drive it, if you will, for a week or two, put it on the menu, and see if anybody, what the comments are, and go from there.
You run it up the flagpole and see if anyone salutes it. So are you actually you're sampling the product to your existing customers? They're not ordering. You're saying, would you like to try this, and then you provide them with a free sample? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, yes.
What was do you remember the last new menu item that you put out there that was a big success?
We did our pesto pasta.
Okay.
Just on selfish reasons, I wasn't really a big fan of it. But what do I know? Everybody loved it. So that item went directly to the menu, and it's been one of our best sellers since.
Is that on your express catering menu? That
It is actually, yes.
Terrific. Is there anything? Is it just a basic pesto? Is there a protein that goes with it? What makes it so special?
We do chicken on it, but on the express catering, we obviously have the other options on it. But in house, we have a chicken option to it.
Okay, and that's on the express
catering chicken, let's just say.
And is the pasta? Is there a choice of pastas with on the in-house menu?
Not in-house. Not in-house. We do go with linguine. Obviously, if someone asks for it, we will entertain that, but we don't give options on the in-house menus.
And remind me, I can't remember on the express catering menu. Are there options for them to choose which pasta they want, or you stick with what you have?
No, we have options on the catering menu. We do have spaghetti, linguine, and penne. We really, to staying true to wanting people to eat quickly and not be sloppy, I guess, for lack of a better word. We try to drive them to the penne option on express catering.
Why the penne option?
So they can eat with a fork.
Great point.
And really not need much more than that.
Great point. So they can stand, they can talk, they can move around. So yes. That's a nice pasta option on an express catering menu. Okay, so it sounds like you've got a really nice staff. Now, does the staff move from location to location? Did you mention that before? I don't recall. Do they mostly stay in one spot, or do you have them rotating through the 3 different shops?
Great question. We've actually tried rotating them through. We found that they don't like that. Kitchen people are creatures of habit, so they enjoy their work environment to be the same all the time. So we've gone away from allowing them from moves outside of extreme needs. They all stay within the one location that they're working at.
I visited all 3 locations. They are very different. Each one has a very different feel to it. It's not like a cookie cutter thing. You've got 3 distinct locations with 3 distinct kitchens in them. I can see why folks, you get the sense and the rhythm of a space, and you're much more comfortable in it. Remind us, I believe we talked about this in episode 1, but are you doing express catering out of all 3 shops?
Not as of right now. We're only going to do it off of our downtown location. Our goal is to do it out of 2 of the 3. Our original location just does not have the space at all to do it, but we are going to do it out of the other 2 and then any future restaurants we open.
Let's talk about that staff that is responsible for executing the express catering menu. What kind of response did you get when you let them know that it would be in a month or two they would be executing a new program, the express catering program? What kind of response did you get from your folks?
Everyone hates change. So, we have to literally show them how easy it's gonna be, and go through the process of it and let them know that it's not going to be really as big of a task as it seems. I think that goes from top, including myself, down. Just as what we talked about the very first episode is how scary it seems when you talk about taking on a new project. But they are fine now. We do have a couple of employees that are key employees that have done catering style restaurant or have been involved in that before, so that they knew what to expect and they're all on board.
Any and so the staff that you have now will execute the menu. There are no new hires coming in to handle your express
No,
catering.
that was the key for us as far as express catering was to make sure that we didn't have to bring in any new staff. As you know, labor is a large part of our cost. So if we can execute within the staff that we had, that's what drove us to express catering.
Now, the time that you've taken, tell me a little bit about how you've gotten them ready. So they've got all their own responsibilities that they do every day. How did you find time to train them in this new program? Did you have them stay extra hours? Did you work it into their daily schedules? How did that work?
So yeah, we definitely took we've taken several hours of during the course of the summer to kind of sit them down. Number one, show them the product. Number two, show them the setup. I think it's important, even though they're the ones just cooking, not necessarily delivering the product, to kind of see the whole operations from beginning to end of what we're trying to do. Yeah, we went through it all pretty from beginning to end. They were able to visualize how important catering can be,
Right.
and obviously we tied a ribbon around it, saying if this continues and is profitable, this is a revenue stream for us, and obviously that allows us to pay more to our key employees as well.
Now, have you done any kind of like family meals for your staff that you actually use the express catering products, the pans, the chafing dishes, the fuel, and kind of set it up so they could see what it would look like?
We didn't do it for our employees. They feed themselves pretty well again, but we have done it for our neighbors. We have three towers that surround us, and we have done it for them. So we've test driven, if you will, for them. We've set up express catering, which is our meatballs, our pastas, and things like that for, like, let's say a happy hour. And I've kind of email blasted, and we've had a good response to it. Actually, our pastas in those chafing dishes with express catering kit is just amazing. We've done several kind of parties for next door, if you will, and they've just been a hit. People couldn't believe it that we were able to execute it, kind of be there, and then we're able to leave. And it took them literally less than 5 minutes for them to clean up and get rid of everything we left behind.
That is terrific. So you have test driven this program with local neighbors and potential customers of yours. So they get a chance to see it. So overall, what has been the biggest lesson you've learned in this training process? Clearly, what the key to express catering is that it creates very little disruption to the day-to-day operation of an existing brick and mortar restaurant. You use an extension of the menu that you already have, so you're not bringing a lot of new things. And you have changed your menu a very small amount. The express catering menu, a very small amount. You added 3 proteins, and remind us what they are. There was a tenderloin, a chicken,
shrimp, and a mahi mahi.
So it was a beef, a fish, and a chicken. Is that right?
No, shellfish.
Shellfish. That's right. Okay. So there's been very little change. So you've added some new proteins. If I remember correctly, if they want to order those additional proteins that aren't on the regular menu, you need 24 hours notice because you're going to a local purveyor to get those products fresh.
Correct. That's what we're starting with.
So we're going to wrap this up, but what's the biggest takeaway from this training for you? Or what's the biggest lesson learned? Or what would you have done differently if you were to do it again?
To be honest with you, it's just actually knowing the ins and outs of a catering program. Now that I do, it's not a scary proposition at all. And having the tools that I have now, it makes it easy to translate that to a new employee that comes in, or a new kitchen manager, or a new GN or manager, to show them the step by step of how we've come to this. I know we hired a new GM in the last month, and after kind of going through this program with them, they were like, "Oh my goodness, it's not as tough as it seems." And I think that's the biggest thing, is the fear factor of catering, and knowing the knowledge. I didn't have a background in catering, so this program has immensely helped me be more confident in executing it.
Well, we've learned a lot working through this with you as well. It's what seems to be probably the hardest part, once you kind of get how you're going to package the stuff and deliver it, is the marketing of it, of course. And we're going to talk about that in our next episode. Some of the things you've done to promote it. I know you're working with a PR firm to help you with that, but we'll talk about the different things you're doing on social media, kind of the grassroots things you're doing right in the store, on the tabletop, and how you're getting the word out about this terrific express catering program that you've got. So, hey, thanks for joining us again today. We'll talk again soon, where we'll talk about marketing. So that's it. We'll be back with George with the next episode very soon. We are at sternoproducts.com/training center. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, #Express Catering. George, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Until next time, keep cooking. Thanks.